When I was younger, I read stuff backwards. My mom realized what's wrong with my writing, what's wrong with my spelling and everything. She sent me to a specialist. I went through many tests and from there onwards they realized I'm dyslexia. So for a kid back then, I was like, what's dyslexia? It was quite a huge blow to me, telling me that I'm different from the normal people.
Dyslexia is a specific learning difference that affects one's ability to read, write or spell. There are other related challenges such as time management, comprehension and organisation. Dyslexia affects 10% of the population in Singapore. 4% or one child in every classroom has dyslexia severe enough that if they do not receive specialist support, they may fail in our education system. And falling behind their peers may mean they never catch up and reach their full potential, which may result in social and behavioural concerns in the future.
Scissors, paper, stone.
For people like us with dyslexic, I think it's harder, that's the truth. So we have to work extra hard to get to where others are getting. It's tough at the start where you are just figuring what's happening in your life. So starting in school, I feel like I'm always lacking behind. I can never catch up with the students. And for the teachers wise, when I told them I'm dyslexic, they'd be like, what's that? Yeah. So for a kid to explain to a teacher what's dyslexic, it takes a lot of effort because I'm confused myself. And they just look at you like you're lazy, you're stupid, and that's actually quite sad from my perspective. So whenever I go home, I'll tell my parents the teacher is like that, and they'll just tell me that it's okay, you'll understand one day. And I'm very lucky to have such supportive parents because without them, I'm sure I wouldn't be where I am today.
Dyslexia is a hidden handicap. You're not able to determine if a child has dyslexia just by looking at them. Children with dyslexia might start out fine in school, but gradually schoolwork can become a struggle for them as the expectations increase. Parents are key partners in the early identification and intervention for learners, and besides, they are the first and probably the most important advocates that the child has in order to receive the necessary attention they need. Children with dyslexia, therefore, need to be identified and supported early so that they can get the help they need to better cope in school and, more importantly, explore all the opportunities that will then be available to them. The DAS SPLD assessment services provide consultation and assessments in areas like dyslexia, adult dyslexia, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, dyscalculia, and more. And why are assessments important in the educational journey of our students? Well, a psychological assessment is an important process to better understand a person's learning challenges. It provides useful information for the person's learning profile by identifying the person's strengths and challenges, and gives educators and others a greater insight into the nature and extent of the difficulties faced by the child. And as we continue to look at research and received feedback from parents and teachers, we realize the importance of having our own localized curriculum to support our students in-house. And therefore, the DAS program curricula, while following international guidelines, is uniquely Singaporean.
And then you have to write the number here.
Going to DAS is so much different from normal schools. So they teach you how to approach words, how to break it down, and how to write properly. Whereas in school, they just give you a piece of paper, they tell you the topic, and you're supposed to do it. Which for us, we get the idea, but we can't pen it down. For example, like a D and a B, at times I get confused. So when I write it wrongly, the teacher will be like, why are you doing this? Yeah, but for DAS wise, they'll actually teach you like how do you remember is D and how do you remember is B. So it's easier for me.
Z, S,
A, I, D.
Clever girl. Okay, set.
Our motto has always been to help dyslexics achieve. We give our students an opportunity to realize their true potential. For our curriculum, we teach phonics, language and vocab, as well as reading comprehension and writing. Educational technology is also infused in the lesson to help support their learning. And most importantly, it's emotionally sound. Lessons are tailored to their ability to make them have a positive feeling whenever they come to class and whenever they leave the class.
The DES strives to create and deliver a comprehensive and holistic range of programs and services for our clients with dyslexia and associated learning differences. To achieve this, we emphasize on the professional development of our staff, as well as the reliability of our services through program evaluation and research.
Action. Okay, so every
While there are still many things that the DES has to do, we have already gone beyond offering a basic literacy program. We must go beyond that to offer programs in other languages, into other subject areas. We must go beyond the age group that we are currently serving. We are currently supporting preschool, primary and secondary school students. We need to go into the post-secondary and adult environment.
Good job. What? Oh. O-E-O. Fox.
The DES has developed several specialized educational services programs because we realized that while we address the literacy needs of our learners, there is actually a range of other needs that our learners require support in. One of the first programs that we have developed is our Essential Math program because we realized that our students, some of them come not only with literacy difficulties but also difficulties in numeracy. We also came up with a Chinese program more recently because we realized that some of our students also have problems with Chinese literacy. And then we have the English Exam Skills program because while our students developed in their literacy, they are struggling with exams in schools. They are not able to answer exam type questions. And then we have a preschool program because we also realize that early intervention is important. We also have talent development programs. So for example, we have a speech and drama arts program. The reason why we started this program was because we realized that a lot of our students, they have talents and these talents are not shown.
The DS believes strongly that professional development of our educators, speech and language therapists and psychologists cannot be compromised. Besides deliberate and focused initial training at the certificate and diploma levels, all educational therapists are required to obtain a postgraduate qualification in special educational needs. Other sources of professional development include peer observations, attachments with other educational organizations, case management discussions, and regular in-service training that is sometimes conducted by our very own training academy, also known as the DS Academy.
The DS Academy empowers parents and educators with knowledge and skills to better support children with dyslexia. So we have a team of lecturers from diverse yet related backgrounds. They are our educational therapists, our psychologists, as well as our speech and language therapists. And with their rich experiences, they are able to contextualize knowledge and make it immediately applicable for our parents and educators. A lot of what we do here is actually to urge parents and educators to teach their child using a flexible approach, to recognize that every child can learn, but that every child needs to learn differently and therefore needs to be taught carefully.
And 5. Yay! So 5 out of 10 gives you, what's this fraction? Half. Very good.
The most rewarding thing about working at the DES definitely would be the children I work with. The thing that touched me the most was when I was teaching a class who were reluctant readers. I watched how they grew into people who love to read. They started going to libraries and borrowing books and sharing the stories of each of the books that they have read. So when I watched how these students developed into people who love to read like I do, it really touched me.
Very good. I said I want to play. I said I want to play. That's very good.
The DES tries our best to ensure that no child is turned away because they cannot afford our programs. So over and above the programs that are funded by the government, the DES offers around 1.5 million Singapore dollars each year in bursaries to children from lower income families. And I believe that Singapore and the Dyslexia Association must do our part to contribute to the community of dyslexia globally.
You have to always believe in yourself and to tell yourself that I'm different, so what? As long as you got something that you really like to do, enjoy doing, and there's a market for it, just go for it. There are many people who are successful who are dyslexic, like Lee Kuan Yew, and these are people that we should look upon to and to tell ourselves that if they can do it, why can't we?